back to the BBS show, the Ben Breakfast Show. Well, joining us now is Tanya from Diaspora Connect Zambia. That's buying properties in Zambia. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us on the Breakfast Show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So,
well, I was going to first say, as Tommy would always say, what is Diaspora Connect Zambia?
Diaspora Connect is a project that has been created by a Zambian law firm. They were servicing a lot of Zambians who were in the diaspora looking to buy property, but there wasn't a proper structure to, if you're living abroad, how to buy your property back home. So Natasha Chumia, who came up with the idea, she basically thought, why don't we find a way of making it easier for Zambians who are living in the diaspora, whether you're in the States or America, the UK or Japan, why don't we find a way of making it easier for them to buy property? So there tend to be certain problems that people have. So if you've been away for a long time, you kind of get disconnected from your hometown and you feel like it's much harder to, go about buying that property. Our service basically says we can manage that whole process for you. We will sort out finding a development. We will sort out the financing if you need financing and banking services, and the legal and conveyancing service as well. So, and all of that will be done. You don't necessarily have to go back to Zambia or wherever to go through the buying process, and we manage it all for you. So if you're looking to buy but you're not looking to move back, we're managing all of that for you.
Interesting. You said something initially. You said we will finance it for you. How are you going to make them? Are you going to give them like a form of mortgage, or?
We basically work with partners, and what we've done, there's a selection of companies in Zambia so all of our developments we've vetted, and we have a standard of what we expect to deliver to people, because if you live abroad you have standards, so we want to deliver the same standards. But we also understand that you might have saved, let's say, £30,000, but you need a bit more to do the actual building of a home on a plot of land, for example. So we have some of the banks and financing building societies over there are able to give you the financing for that on top of what you want.
Another thing, Chinade, because I know it's about Zambia, so I know Chinade knows everything.
No, I actually know more about Nigeria than you know about Nigeria.
Okay, so now it's my turn.
Okay, it's your turn.
So another thing, because you don't know, maybe I want to buy a property that we can live in together in Zambia. So another thing is, when you say that in Africa, we have, most times people like to build their houses from the scratch, as opposed to here that you buy like ready-made homes or so the houses you're talking about, are they the ones that you can start from the scratch, or the ready-made apartments or flats that they can mortgage or take a mortgage on?
We have a selection of places available. So we have a place called Chamanuka Lodge, which is actually it's a development that's in a game park. And they have a set of plots of land. They've got 4 different style houses that you can build. You choose which one you want. You select the type of plot that you want, and they can even manage the build process for you. So everything is basically done for you. We have another place, Foxdale, which is already developed. They've acquired their permissions. They've built the houses, and it's basically whether you want an apartment or a 3-bed or a 4-bed house, and so you just select that, and then that's ready to move into. We have another place, Leopard's Rock, which is literally plots of land. It's a minimum of 3 acres of land, and it's the land, and you can put whatever you want on it, and you build whenever you want on it. So it's all optional, depending on what your needs are.
All right. The other question is, of course, quite a lot of people in diaspora, beyond Zambia, prefer building on their own. And that's going back home, come back, send some money through Western Union, buy the phone card like Tommy does every week, buy the phone card, call uncle, go and buy the asbestos, go and buy me river sand. Okay, I'm not working for the next 3 months, so I'll send money in December. Now, the people like that, what makes your service more convenient for those type of people? What would you say to them in terms of choosing your service than doing their own DIY?
When you're doing it as an individual, it's a very steep learning curve. You might have the idea of building, but like you say, you suddenly find yourself each month, oh, can you buy the asbestos? Or we've run out of this, oh, can you send extra for this? And you're like, but that wasn't part of what we had in there. So this is kind of mitigating all of those problems. The lawyers have worked with countless other people who are buying houses. They know the problems that you're potentially going to go through. The plot of land that you're buying, they're able to tell you whether it's a suitable plot of land, whether you're likely to have any problems, or if you have a problem, how to get out of it. So it's all the developers that we're using. They've all done developments before. So it's mitigating all those potential problems for you. We take away the headache for you. You just, you find the plot of land that you want, and then we'll help you create
adding
the
to what
house.
she said, and going back to your question, we have this issue of trust too, like Chinade said, you call and you're saying, okay, I'm sending money for this, and something else comes up and it's like, that wasn't part of the deal, so we get that a lot of times, how we can when it comes to things like that. So I think it's, from what she's saying, it's more safer to actually have a good company, a good structure in place, as opposed to your cousin, your brother, your friend, that they might not even build a house. I'm sure you've heard a situation of people that they'll say, oh, Chinade, don't worry, your house is now, we're doing the rooftop now, and you get to Zambia and it's like, where's the house?
It's
still there.
So it's, in terms of trust too, it might be good to go with your company. How about if you don't want to do houses and you just want to do like a business space or office space? Or
we're not dealing with the commercial side at the moment, so it's all about, our concept is more about buying your property back home. So it's if you want to move back, I mean, some people will be, let's say, in the diaspora maybe 3 to 5 years, and we're talking about, they could be in the African diaspora, they could be in lots of different continents. So some people are short-term desires. They've gone away for 3 to 5 years, they get the house built, they come back and they've got their home. Other people could be, I have no intentions of going back, but my parents are getting old and I want to get a house for them. So we're able to help them process all of that. The parents are maybe, they're not capable of doing that for them. And again, you're safeguarding yourself by using somebody professional. So you get that done for you.
How about using it for, not really commercial, how about I want to get a house in Zambia? I don't want to live in Zambia, but I want to use it for
rental
commercial
purposes.
I'm going to say that exactly that. If me and Tommy moved to Zambia and we've saved up so much money from her NatWest account and my Halifax account, and those pounds start going away. Can we move to the ghettos of Zambia and put that house? Oh, she doesn't like it. Right, could we put that house? Convert that house into a business?
For rental purposes,
Well, no, offices. Maybe turn it into a restaurant. Does one have those rights?
I mean, obviously, whatever you choose to do with your home is up to you. And again, that's down to registering your business when you're in Zambia and making sure legally that you comply to all the requirements that you need to comply to. What we would tend to do, we're more like if you had between the two of you in your bank accounts 100,000 and it was spare money and you wanted to buy, let's say, 3 apartments to rent out. That money is earning you money back home or, in Zambia. So you're able to make an investment in that sense. Again, even the properties that you're buying, Zambia as a buying destination it's actually quite a good place to be buying at the moment. So even if you were to buy, say, 3 to 5 years or 10 years and then you sell, you're looking to make a lot of money. The government is doing a lot in different areas and creating good infrastructure that, the prices, you could buy something, let's say for 100,000, within 3 years you probably earned maybe 20% on it, So the potential of return on investment is very good in that sense, but not in a commercial sense. But as an individual, your return on investment is good.
What about what happens to if one purchases land and property is being built and they face a financial constraint and they can't pay in installments? What happens to those people? Do they face a penalty?
Again, that will be in the contracts that you sign. So if you were to get a loan from the building society, all of those penalties are in there. And you'll find, obviously, a bank won't lend you money unless they feel that you're a viable candidate to lend money to. So you, again, it's all about mitigation. And in as much as you're over here, you're buying in a foreign country as far as they're concerned. So they need to make sure that they're not losing their money. And, you know, they're not going to lend money to somebody that they don't feel is viable. So in essence, you know that if you know you want to buy, you've probably been saving money the whole time anyway. You've got in your mind, I intend to move back, so I want to save my money. And we find that actually a lot of people who are interested in buying, they have already been saving. So buying is a long-term process. People have been thinking about it for years, in effect. So when they're ready, you know they're ready to buy. You know, so
there won't be a lot of people that will stop along the way.
Come in the way.
So Chino, they just mentioned that. So how does your own profit comes about? How do you work it out? Like, because okay, now I'm getting my house, and okay, I want to take a mortgage, so maybe I have to pay like, you know, I have to pay like a bulk amount of money, then I start paying like maybe 10%, or you know how they do the calculation. So who do I pay to? Do I do everything to you, or will the bank get involved, you know?
Each property that we're selling has different ways of dealing with the end client. Some people will have their own systems that they've set up. So it could be like a 10% deposit and then installments over 3 years or over 5 years. And again, it's down to the agreement that you make with them. We're like a facilitator. We're just saying, you know, somebody abroad is looking to buy a property. We've found a suitable bunch of properties, a suitable bunch of partners, and we've made agreements. They know that they want to speak to members in the diaspora because they feel that the diaspora is a good market to speak to. So the connection between, we are like the bridge between the two. And so in essence, we're not necessarily taking your money. Whatever transaction we have, you will then pay directly to whoever that money needs to go to. So buying the land, you pay the land supplier. The conveyancing, you pay the lawyers, and obviously the bank, you pay directly back to the bank.
I see what you mean now.
What about you? You're working with certain high-profile service providers. What role are they playing in the building and buying of properties? These service providers. Tell us more. Who are they?
There are lots of different organizations, and again, some people are individuals who have maybe done a bit of, I guess, property flipping before, and they've done, you know, they've managed, they've been successful, and now they want to do it bigger and better. Other people are just, you know, big investors, people who have put money into a certain location and have decided that, you know, they've come up with this concept and they want to sell that concept. So what we found was developers are very good at creating a development, but they're not necessarily good at marketing it. So we're kind of helping them get more clients, and we're like the in-between for them in that sense. And again, with the banking services, access to Zambians in the diaspora, Zambia itself as a country has realized the value of the Zambian abroad. And, you know, Zambians send a lot of remittance back home. And a lot of the times, it may just be directly to mum and dad or to family. But more and more, if you can send back money that's your own, that you want to invest in a property, Zambia wants to have that money. Why buy your property in England when you can buy it in Zambia?
You know?
So the government as well is very supportive of any initiative that's bringing business back home.
So aside Zambia, are you looking to do other African countries?
We currently are starting with Zambia because you know how it is. You want to test the market. You want to make sure that you do it properly as well. And different markets will operate differently. Being Natasha is Zambian, she had the idea, and I mean I'm Zambian as well. And so it works for us because I know England and I know Zambia, but we have considered other places, and if this is successful, obviously it will be on the whole of Africa.
All right, the other thing is Tommy and I have got a plan as well. We're trying to build a place in Nigeria. We've got this land, this very big land, and we're going to call it, Chinode Tommy Residential Area. And we're planning to bring Selfridges, McDonald's, Burger King, just to add economic value. It's going to be a little economic zone, isn't it, Tommy? Yeah. So these particular areas that you're selling land, is there going to be anything similar to that? Tell us more.
I think basically all of the locations that we have are in growing economic zones. For example, even Chamanuka, which is a rural location, that area is still being grown by the government. The government has all these different areas, and I think most of the developers are very aware of that. They've been clever enough to say, well, that's where we're going to create our developments. We don't necessarily sell individual members, like if you had a plot of land to sell, we wouldn't sell a single plot of land. So if there's a development with, let's say, 30 to 100 or however many number of plots, that's what we're looking to sell. And somebody won't create that unless they know that there's something there for people to do, because we all want to be able to say, there's my house, but I want to go to the pool, I want to go to the golf club. You know, those facilities have to be there. And also, if you are moving back there, you want to be able to have those facilities. You don't want to just live in the bush, you know. You want like a bit of, the European side, or you know, yeah.
What about those who are are skeptical? There are people that say, I've tried a similar process, and I'm talking from not just Zambia, but various African countries and the Caribbean, who said, I've tried this kind of process. I'm quite skeptical. I've never seen anybody come up with a house. Nobody has built a house in that economic zone. What do you have to say to those people?
Skepticism comes from pain of suffering, and it's a protection mechanism. And you're basically saying, I don't intend to make that mistake again. And that's entirely your choice. But you have to be able to say, okay, I saw where I made mistakes. These people are actually helping me overcome those mistakes. I could get it right this time. And it's just about thinking past those problems. If you feel like you're not going to, you don't want to make the decision to do it, then you won't. But if you're able to say, actually, I got it wrong, these people seem to know how to do it right, and I will use them to get the property, well, I think that would be a more viable, option. Because we are, it's the legal service is all, like I said, the developments, we vet them. The legal service, the law firm is a registered legal service. They have to follow standards and protocol according to the laws of Zambia. And the National Building Society, obviously, is a Zambian organization. So everything, the people that we used are professionals. We're not, let's just give this a go and, let's just try and sell someone's land. We don't even have the rights to sell this land. What we're doing is working with people who we have worked with before, who we know are reputable. And so if you can mitigate those problems, we're going to make sure that you don't have any more problems.
What about if I want to build, me and Tommy want to build our house?
Why don't you want to build it alone? Why do you
well,
want to build it with
me? Tommy wants to build hers, I want to build mine, or want to build an office, or, you don't do commercial property, but want to build a house, to, in Zambia. Now, what if we want it tailored to a certain way? Do you have just a standard? Do all the houses look the same?
No.
Or one can choose or design?
Specifications.
Well, this again, it depends on if you want to have it very tailored. We have plots of land that are for sale, so what you do on that land is entirely up to you. Foxdale, however, the development of Foxdale has regulations. All of the roofs have to be red roofs. There has to be a certain amount of space between the houses, so that has to follow certain guidelines. So the exterior has guidelines, but maybe how you furnish the inside, how you build the walls inside, can be slightly varied. So it's entirely up to you. If you are very much, I want the home of my dreams, then Leopard's Rock is our ideal development, because the plot of land is beautiful, and it's literally, you can put whatever you want on there, your dream home. So it's up to you.
All right. Well, fantastic time, of course.
So you already have the idea of
yes, I think I've got the idea.
To build that mansion.
So I want to build my mansion.
Our mansion.
Because,
I think I'm moving in as well.
Yeah, because I think, a lot of diasporans obviously stay here for 15 years, 20 years. And then when we go back, you end up at your brother's or your uncle's.
Even some
and they welcome you. Of course, you've come from diaspora Europe. But then when the accent starts wearing out, the pounds finish, you can end up sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
So how do people now get in touch with you if people are interested out there beyond Zambians? Other people are into just property investment, especially that Africa in general now is a booming continent. How do people get in touch with you?
Okay, we have a website, buyingpropertyinzambia.com. That's the first port of call. All of our developments are on there. All the information is on there. We also have a very active Facebook page, and if you just search for Buying Property in Zambia, that will come up as well there. also we'll be having a South African launch in November, so more information will be coming up online on that as well. You can do a property search on Google as well, buying property in Zambia, it should come up.
Well done. So you're doing South Africa, so Nigeria will be the next on the radar.
It's the next one.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm sure, because Chinede and I have asked most of the questions that our viewers would have loved to know about buying a property in Zambia. Now they said they're going to start South Africa and hopefully Nigeria in the next year. Hopefully.
You never know.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So still on the Ben Breakfast Show, we'll go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.